You've been lied to. That patio you spent thousands on, half of it is already out of style. And the worst part, the industry knew it wouldn't last. They designed it that way. Every trend they sold you as a must-have was engineered to fail, to fade, to crack, to look dated in 3 years so you'd buy again. String lights, pallet furniture, those matching sets everyone has. All of it dead. But here's what they don't want you to know. The stuff that actually works, it's what your parents had, what your grandparents had. The things they told you were outdated are the only things built to last. Today, I'm exposing 8 outdoor trends that are already dead in 2026. And I'm going to show you exactly what the industry has been hiding from you. You've spent a lifetime creating a home that feels safe. The industry profits when that feeling turns temporary. If something in this video made you pause, subscribe, and hit like and hype. Because protecting your home should never be accidental. Overused string lights. Let's start with something you see everywhere. String lights. A few years ago, you couldn't open Instagram without seeing patios covered in little lights crisscrossing all over the place. They became synonymous with beautiful patio. But here's the problem. Lydia Beaumont, editor at Homes and Gardens, said it clearly in January of this year. String lights were once the staple of all backyards, but now they've been overused so much that they've become visual noise. Dave Marciniak, an outdoor designer, was more direct. They look sloppy in most installations, and they're rarely effective at illuminating the area. And he's right. When everyone has exactly the same lights, in exactly the same pattern, the effect stops being special. It looks like temporary event decoration, not intentional design. Walk through any neighborhood on a summer night, and you'll see the same exact setup on every other patio. That's not style. That's following a crowd that's already moved on. What actually works is lighting with purpose. Subtle path lighting at ground level that guides you through the space. A single line of warm LEDs integrated into the pergola, not crisscrossing everywhere like a carnival. Table lamps for the areas where you actually sit and have conversations. If you have outdoor lamps you inherited or bought decades ago, those have more personality than the string lights everyone bought on Amazon. Real lighting design creates atmosphere. Copying a trend creates clutter. Pallet furniture. Now let's talk about something that was very popular a few years ago. Pallet furniture. Sofas, tables, benches, all made from recycled wooden pallets. Pinterest was full of tutorials. The problem is that people stopped buying disposable outdoor furniture. Cedar Creek Rustic Furniture published an analysis last December where they explained that buyers now ask something different. Does this actually feel comfortable? Will it look decent in 5 years? And the answer with pallets is almost always no. Untreated wood can deteriorate quickly depending on the climate. They're uncomfortable without thick cushions, and those cushions also deteriorate. The crafty appearance that seemed charming in 2018 now dates the space immediately. And there's a detail few people consider. Recycled industrial pallets may contain chemicals you don't want near where you sit with your family. What actually works is real wood, cedar, teak, oak, that ages gracefully and actually gets more beautiful over time. Wrought iron that lasts generations and can be passed down to your children. Quality aluminum with a durable finish that doesn't corrode or pit. A $150 chair replaced 3 times ends up costing more than a $400 one that lasts a decade. Do the math. The cheap option is actually the expensive option when you factor in replacement costs and the hassle of shopping for new furniture every few years. If you have wrought iron chairs you inherited from your parents, those have more value than any Pinterest project ever will. The mindset of buying once and buying well was always the right one. Prefab kit pergolas. Let's move on to pergolas. Specifically, the prefabricated kit pergolas sold at big box stores. The problem isn't having a pergola, it's that they all look exactly the same. You walk through any neighborhood and see the same structure, the same design, the same materials. Wood Kingdom West published an analysis last June where they noted a shift. People are moving toward options with more personality, designs that complement their home-specific architecture instead of looking like something pulled from a catalog. Kit pergolas have lower quality materials, that require constant maintenance. They look generic because they are generic. They were designed for the common denominator, not for your specific space. And here's what the stores won't tell you. Those materials start showing wear within 2 or 3 summers. The paint chips, the joints loosen. What looked like a bargain becomes an eyesore. What actually works is natural wood, with a finish that develops character over time. Structures built with quality materials that you don't need to repaint every 2 or 3 years. A wooden pergola from the 70s or 80s with natural patina has more character than any prefabricated structure from a warehouse store. If yours has history, that's exactly what makes it unique. That weathered look isn't a flaw, it's proof that it was built to last. Now, fire pits, specifically the elaborate built-in fire pits with decorative stone and gas connections. Don DeFeo from Landscape Barn explained it in January. We are seeing movement away from overbuilt fire pits. They tend to dominate the outdoor space and rarely get used. Oliver Burgess was equally direct. Built-in fire pits, in practice, end up underused and taking up a lot of space. And this is something many people discover too late. You spend thousands of dollars on an elaborate fire pit thinking you'll use it constantly, and it ends up being something you light 3 or 4 times a year. Meanwhile, it visually dominates your entire patio. You can't move it, you can't hide it. It just sits there, reminding you of money spent on something that sounded better in the showroom than it works in real life. What actually works is simple, portable fire bowls, traditional chimeneas you can move around depending on where you want to sit. Designs that complement the space instead of dominating it. If you decided not to install an elaborate fire pit because you thought you really wouldn't use it that much, you were right. The industry sold these as essentials, but reality is different. Sometimes the smartest purchase is the one you didn't make. Giant outdoor kitchens. Giant outdoor kitchens are another perfect example of this. Ryan Shellhouse from Fire and Metal described it in January of this year. We walk through spaces every week where expensive appliances rarely get used and slowly fall apart from sun exposure, weather, or simple neglect. Wiring gets chewed by rodents, water lines fail, refrigerators turn musty. Tina Huffman added that large outdoor kitchens are expensive to build, yet the reality is they often aren't used nearly enough to justify the cost, and they age poorly with exposure to the elements. This is something the industry doesn't want you to know. Appliances designed for indoors don't survive well outdoors, no matter how much they cost. The sun destroys them. The rain corrodes them. The temperature changes crack seals and warp doors. 5 years later, that $10,000 outdoor kitchen looks worse than a basic setup that cost a fraction of the price. What actually works is simple: a quality grill plus a generous work surface. If you really need refrigeration, a small refrigerator that you can replace easily. Easy access to your indoor kitchen, which was designed to be a kitchen. Comfortable seating area near the grill where people actually want to gather. If your setup is a good grill and a table nearby, that's exactly what works. You don't need a magazine kitchen to enjoy a barbecue with the family. You need a space that functions, not one that impresses the neighbors for one summer and falls apart by the third. Matching furniture sets. Let's talk about matching furniture sets. You know what I mean? The complete 7-piece set, all from the same manufacturer, all identical. Michelle Weissman from Fortunoff recommended in January stepping away from heavy, ornate furniture pieces that come in sets. Mike Freddo from Neighbor Outdoor was more specific. For a long time, custom just meant pushing a bunch of pieces together and calling it a day. People have found it too clunky and generic. The proportions are off, and it doesn't feel designed, just assembled. House Digest put it simply in November. Matchy-matchy, uber-coordinated furniture sets are out. The problem with these sets is they were designed to look good in a showroom, not in your specific space. The proportions rarely work for real patios. And when everyone has the same Wayfair set, nobody has personality. Your outdoor space ends up looking like a catalog page instead of your home. What actually works is mixing materials: wicker with aluminum, wood with metal, individual pieces with character. a look that feels collected over time instead of bought all together on a Saturday. If your patio has your grandmother's rocking chair alongside chairs you bought at different times that has more style than any matching set, that mix tells a story. The matching set tells everyone you bought everything in one transaction. Cheap outdoor cushions. Now, I want to talk about something the industry does not want you to understand: cheap outdoor cushions. Every season, stores fill the aisles with inexpensive cushions in bright colors. They seem like a bargain. But Outdoor Shop published an analysis last October. Quality outdoor cushions represent a significant investment, but choosing the right material up front can save you hundreds of dollars in replacement costs. Foam Order put it in numbers. High-quality cushions last 3 to 5 years, but cheap ones last 1 season. They fade in the sun. They develop mold and mildew after the first few rains. The fill compresses until you're basically sitting on the frame. And you end up buying new ones every year, which costs more long-term than having invested in quality from the start. Patio Productions recommends fabrics like Sunbrella specifically because the thread itself is colorized. It doesn't fade because the color is part of the fiber, not a surface treatment. They're marine-grade fabrics, designed to withstand the harshest conditions boats face on the ocean. What works is investing once in solution-dyed acrylic or olefin fabrics and having cushions that last 5 to 7 years or more. If you have quality cushions you've maintained for years, that's exactly the right mindset. Buying cheap and replacing constantly isn't saving, it's waste. The stores want you back every spring. Quality means you don't need to go back. Cheap plastic or resin furniture. And this brings us to the last point: cheap plastic and resin furniture. Decor. Outdoor published last November that lower quality synthetic wicker made from PVC tend to become brittle and crack over time. Wicker Living explained that if you start to notice cracking or serious fading after 2 or 3 years, you did not get quality resin. Ledge Loungers was direct. Furniture made out of ordinary plastic is susceptible to fading, cracking, and chipping. This is the cycle the industry wants you to follow. You buy cheap. It deteriorates in 2 seasons. You buy again. Repeat indefinitely. Meanwhile, you spend more money than if you had bought quality from the start. What works is NEPE high-density polyethylene, which resists UV for decades without degrading. Quality aluminum that doesn't rust. Wrought iron with a durable finish. Properly treated real wood. If you have aluminum or iron chairs you bought 20 or 30 years ago and they still work perfectly, that's the quality the industry no longer wants to sell you. They want you to buy cheap and replace constantly. Your old furniture proves them wrong every single day. And that's the common thread in everything we've talked about today. All these trends, the string lights, the pallets, the kit pergolas, the elaborate fire pits, the giant kitchens, the matching sets, the cheap cushions, the cheap plastic, they all have something in common. They were sold as upgrades, but were really ways to spend money on things that don't last. The outdoor industry doesn't make money if you buy once and stay satisfied for decades. They make money if you replace constantly. Every trend was designed with an expiration date built in. What actually works is the opposite. Quality furniture that improves with time. Intentional lighting, not decorative clutter. Spaces designed to use with your family, not to photograph for strangers. The philosophy of buying once and buying well, the same philosophy your parents and grandparents lived by. If your patio has a real wood pergola that's developed character over the years, furniture you bought decades ago that still feels solid, quality cushions you've cared for, and a reliable grill instead of a magazine kitchen, you already have what the industry is now trying to sell as new. The next time someone tells you your patio looks dated, remember that dated usually means built to last instead of built to replace. Which of these trends do you recognize in your own backyard? And which of your old pieces has lasted longer than anything new you've bought? I want to hear your story. Tell me in the comments. And if you know someone who's about to spend money on any of these dead trends, share this video with them. You could save them a lot of money and frustration. If this made you pause for even a second, share it with someone you care about and give it the hype. You might save them thousands, and if you want to understand which materials are quietly draining home value right now, watch the next video on screen. The brutal truth about LVP flooring. Because the most expensive mistake is the one that still looks fine today.